Hi everyone, Gina here. I'm going to do a process video today. I'm going to scrapbook this picture of my niece Sarah in the swimming pool. This is the first summer that she's actually been in the swimming pool and swimming and things. She's 4. She'll be 5 next month. And the picture is not the greatest quality. It's kind of, I don't know, the colors are kind of muted, and I don't know enough about Photoshop and those types of things to edit this photo to make it better. I'm going to take a class, but right now this is what I have, so that's fine by me. The more important thing for me is getting the story in the scrapbook. So I'm going to scrapbook this photo, and I'm going to pull all of my colors from this journaling card, or this card from this cut apart piece of paper. This is Fancy Pants Designs. It's a 2010 collection, Beach Babe. It's got this distressed orange on this side, so it's a very old, it's much older collection, but I really like that cut apart piece of that thing, that cut apart journaling block or what have you that says Princess of the Pool. So I'm going to pull my colors from that, toning down the blue a bit because we have a lot of blue in this picture. I'm going to tone down the blue a bit and focus more on, I think, yellow and pink. I have this is also from Fancy Pants, that 2010 collection, Beach Babe, and it has this surfboard, and it's called High Tide. The other one's called Cards. This one's called High Tide, and it has these suns on this side, but it does bring in, I don't know if you can see, that's an orange, so I'm not sure, but there is orange. I mean, it's a coordinating collection, so the colors work together. We'll see. I have this paper from American Crafts, the Dear Lizzie collection. It's the stitched ruffled paper from the Neapolitan collection, and I thought that bringing that yellow in, it would be a good opportunity to use some of that. And then I also pulled the American Crafts Shoreline. This is a more current collection. This is 2012. But it has a lot of similar colors, so I thought that would work well with these cards. So we're gonna get started, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, so I started this layout by going through all of the papers in the Shoreline collection from American Crafts, and here you'll see me, I'll cut apart that square block from this this Fancy Pants paper that I thought that I would use, that Princess of the Pool. And I always call Sarah my little princess, so that sort of goes well with that. And I'm going through the collection pack, and this is typically what I do when I'm using a full collection pack for a layout, is I will pull all the papers out, and then I will just go through them one by one and see what I like and what I don't like. And I really fell in love with that floral design there, and it pulled in that darker blue, so there's a lot of light blue in the picture, but the darker blue was pulled in with that floral print, so I really like that. But I'm, again, flipping through all these papers, seeing what I think will work and what won't work with the picture, and I will narrow it down again. I put all that aside, so I was going to use that Fancy Pants paper with the suns, but I didn't like the orange. I decided, after I thought that I would really like the orange, I decided I didn't like it, so I didn't use that Fancy Pants paper with the suns. But so I'm still keeping with that pink and yellow, and then I'm going to pull in some blue just to balance out. There's a lot of blue in that picture. So here, that is just I guess a serving tray that I keep in my scrap area, and on the bottom of that is a bunch of chipboard pieces that I purchased at a what do you call it, a garage sale, a scrapbooking garage sale. So I just leave that on my desk, and when I see chipboard pieces that will work with the layout, I just pull them off of there. So here I'm going to try to figure out how I want to arrange these on the page, because they are in the colors that I'm using for this layout, and I would like to get rid of all that chipboard. So I thought this would be a great place to do it. And so in those little containers that I just pulled into the screen here is where I keep some embellishments, and we'll talk about those when I open them. What I'm doing now is going through, I keep like most of my themed papers and themed label stickers and things like that in folders that are labeled with that theme. So this is the summer folder, and I'm just flipping through it to see if there's anything in it that I think will work on this layout, and there wasn't anything, so I'm still struggling with where I'm going to put those chipboard shapes, still struggling with here what I wanted to do with those papers, which one I wanted to use for the background and which one I wanted to use for the main paper on the page. And I end up not even using that Dear Lizzie crepe ribbon paper. It's still in the package. So I think I'm about 90% sure of which what papers I want to use for what. So I think I'm going to use that dark pink for the background, and then that yellow as a layering page. And then I decide that I need some blue, even though I said I didn't need any blue because of the picture, but with the blue in the chipboard and things. And what I was doing there is looking on the back of that blue, because there's like a 6x6, 4 6x6 squares on the back of that blue. And I wanted to see if I cut it in a certain way, if any of those 6x6 squares would be ones that I really want to use. So there weren't any, so it didn't matter how I cut that paper, but I always check that, because if there's going to be a 6x6 square that I want, I obviously don't want to cut through it. And here I'm going to arrange my papers until I figure out which configuration I want there. I think maybe I need a larger thing of blue, and then now I'll go back to the smaller thing. And so again, it's just laying it all out. I don't plan a lot of layouts. I just kind of, go with the flow and do whatever moves me in that particular minute. I used to write a lot. Like, I used to be a writer, and I would write the same way. Like, I would never, plan anything. I would just write, and wherever the characters took me, I went, is kind of how I felt about that. So I really want to pull in this floral. So I'm going to cut some strips of that. Because I think that floral, like, I have this pink and this blue and this yellow, and the floral has all of the colors in it. So I really feel like that really ties the whole layout together. And then I decide that because those pieces, those chipboard pieces, are going to overlap several different pattern papers, I don't want the backing of them to be blank. So I'm actually going to back them with this floral paper and pull the floral from the top of the page also to the bottom of the page where that chipboard is going to go. And I was careful here to kind of figure out, I didn't want so much blue in a square with the blue chipboard, so I tried to figure that out ahead of time as well. And I used this scallop sentiment punch from Fiskars to add a scallop border on that piece of the floral pattern paper. And working with a collection really makes it easy, because all of these papers go together, so you don't really need to, it's like a no-brainer. And again, I'm just fussing around with what I'm going to do with these chipboard pieces, and I decide that I really want to back those yellow pieces with the background paper that, I guess it's like a, I don't know. It's like a grid pattern on that. Yeah, there we go. It's a grid pattern on that pink paper. So I'm looking at my circle punches now to see which one will work to back those circles. And I can cut that out because I know that yellow paper is going to, I do that a lot. You'll see me if you watch many of my videos, I do that a lot. I'll take, if I know that background paper is going to be covered up, I will take sections of it out and use it on other parts of the page, sort of to just make it more cohesive. So here I am layering that paper underneath these circles, these chipboard circles. And I don't know who made those chipboard circles, because like I said, I bought them at a garage sale. And I use that notebook punch from Fiskars to just add a little decorative edge to those two, I don't even know what you would call them, those two little decorative elements, those squares. I'm going to find out the name of them, or find out what other people call them, because I'm struggling with that. Now, how am I going to arrange these chipboard pieces at the bottom? So I'm going to play with that for a minute. And just to add some depth and some yeah, just some depth. I'm going to layer the yellow pieces on top of the squared pieces, the circled pieces on top of the squared pieces. And I have to say, I really like how this layout turned out when it was all done. Now I'm looking to see if another one of those cards will work. I think I might use this balloon one. Where is it? Yeah, the balloon one. So I'm thinking I need some green somewhere. Or I'm not really sure what I was thinking because there's no green anywhere else on that layout. So I don't really know what I was thinking there with that balloon. But I do like that sun and swim. So here I'm going to put that same decorative edge, and it cuts off some of that word sun, but oh well. When I first started scrapbooking, I really was more, I wanted everything to be exactly right, and now it's sort of more, I'll just kind of take it as it goes. Just get the memories in the book is kind of my philosophy sometimes. But I thought this was the cutest picture of Sarah. And she was just in love with the pool, so I thought it was the best. And I'm actually going to use that card there that I knew I wasn't going to use anywhere else. I got adhesive in my cutouts on the back there, so here is a little container that I have a bunch of brads in. These are little sun brads, or they're like little stars or suns or something. Or maybe flowers, who knows. And then here are some fabric brads in yellow. And these I also got at that garage sale, so I don't know who made them either. I'm very cognizant of keeping things with their labels and things to make sure their packaging and stuff, or label them in a certain way that I know who the manufacturer is, because I've had a lot of questions when I upload videos about where'd you get this, or what manufacturer made that. So I try to keep track of that stuff more now than I have in the past, but this was such a good deal at this garage sale, I couldn't pass it up. So the amount of stuff that I purchased there was just ridiculous. So I decide that I'm going to make a little decorative sort of embellishment corner up here with all of these different brads. And at first I think I'm only going to use 3 of them. And I know the blue one kind of gets lost, but it's okay. And look, I have the brad setter sitting above the layout, and I'm still using my fingers to open those tines on the back of the brad. Oh well. Best tools you have are your hands, right? I bought it because I was getting I bought that brad setter because I was getting my fingernails manicured at the time, and I thought that would be a good way to save the manicure. And as you can see, I've stopped manicuring the nails and I've gone back to just using them as tools. Here I figure out that the center of those circles are drooping. I actually cut the tines off the back of off of some of those brads and added them with glue dots. But now I'm finding that the center of that pattern paper, that pink pattern paper, is kind of drooping in the middle of that circle. So I'm going to add some foam adhesive and then put them down with some glue dots to make them more stable on the layout. And there I went and changed some things around, so I cut that all out. Here I found a little piece, and I think this is from a My Mind's Eye Valentine's collection, that squiggly little line there. And that is an L Studio stamp that I'm pulling out there. And I'm just going to pull a scratch piece of white cardstock to stamp that on, and I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use cough syrup from Jenny Bolin. I love these Jenny Bolin inks. I'm going to be so sad when mine all run out and they make them no more. I don't know what I'm going to do, to be honest with you. I should have gone out and bought all the re-inkers. Maybe I'll still do that, because it will be a sad, sad day around here when one of those loses its ink. I just love them. I can't believe they're not making them anymore. And I'm sure there are other inks out there that work just as well. I just happen to really like those. So now I'm just futzing around. Where am I going to put this? I'm going to do a little bit of journaling on it, so I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to put it. And now I decide I don't know where I'm putting that, but I know where I'm going to put the title. The title is definitely going over that yellow piece of pattern paper, and I'm definitely going to use a pink. And I think I'm going to use these stickers here. These are, I'm not sure where they're from. But then they're not big enough. They're not going to fill up the space. So then I go through all my thickers and I'm deciding on which ones. So it's a two-part process. The font and the color, I got to figure those out. And then do I have all the letters I want to, you know, spell out what I want. So. And sometimes I leave those centers in, like the E's and the A's and stuff. These I wanted them out. I really wanted to see that yellow paper. So these are just some thickers. They came out, I think, with the Shoreline collection. And I'm so creative with my titles. I'm going to title this Learning to Swim. And you can see I've stuck the stickers, the thickers on my hand. Because I get sick of picking up the sheet, pulling off one letter, and then putting the sheet down, and then all of that. It just drives me insane. I'm not the most patient person in the world, and that just drives me insane. So I typically take them all off and just put them on my hand. And then there's that blank space down there. That blue cardstock has like an awkward blank space there. So I decide that I'm going to just add a couple more brads. I only have a few, you see. And I almost spilt them all over the room. There we go. And we are just about done. I'm going to do some journaling. I'm going to add the date and make some notes where it says important details. Maybe I'm going to do that. There we go. And that's basically the layout. It's done as far as I'm concerned. I did go back later and glue down those thickers because we know they all come up. So I'm going to try and attempt to give you this didn't work out quite so well when I was editing the video, but I'm going to try here to give you a close-up view of everything that I did. If I could ever coordinate my blog posts and my videos, that might be helpful. But there we go. That's the layout. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Bye.